G'day everyone, how's it going? Another busy day, which is really good to see. A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that a lot of you guys don't see. So again, Elaine and Juliet been amazing talking with people, and it's just fantastic stuff. But I had some really good phone calls today, and I'll go into one of those in a minuet. Since I know some people are on and we'll get started, all that sort of thing. Like I say, just about every time. I've got my YouTube running on my computer, the playlist of my lives, because they take a while. But and that's been running for hours, and I'm still not through them. I've done so many lives, it's ridiculous. And they all go for around about between 20 to 40 minutes, I suppose. So, yeah, so they're still running. They've been running. I'll just leave the computer on all night and just let it run all night to play through the whole list. Because there's a lot of videos there. I think someone said to me once that, I think it might have been Mandy Diamond, with a computer at work or something, she was playing the lives and she just left her computer on for the weekend when she went home to get through it all, because there's a lot of hours of lives there. But they're all important. They're important to me because basically I get to connect with you all this way, so you can all hear me. And then of course I got people ringing me all the time and saying, you know, can I have a call with you and things like that. And I always try and make time for a call. It doesn't have to be Zoom. Most of the time we just do the Facebook calling, and where people can ask me questions and want to talk to me. So if that's what you want to do, because you're not sure about something, call me, and that way you get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, and not so much typing. Because I can be talking and then typing on my phone while I'm talking on my iPad. So multitasking, I'm learning that. Terry Phillips was telling me everything she does with the cats and the kids and the housework and things like that, and you know, it sort of makes my head spin how much she does. I said the best I can multitask is sort of like, you know, sleep and breathe at the same time, you know, because I'm just a man. But yeah, she seems to grow an extra pair of arms and legs, sort of thing, to get everything done. Amazing stuff. But you women got it all over us when it comes to multitasking, I think. I mean, some guys can do it, don't get me wrong, but not all of us. But I can sometimes, on a good day. I can be doing a ton of things all at once. It's amazing. But yeah, it's not a consistent thing. I'll have to work on that. Okay, we've got some people on. Hi guys, how are you? It's good to see you all. I put up a post earlier regarding the testimonials, live testimonials. So if you've done one, just say there you've done one, or you've sent me one, and that way I know who has and everything like that. But it's good to have a nice list there for everyone else to see who has as well. And I'll go through them. I was talking to Terry Phillips today. We were having a video chat, which was really good conversation with her. And she was asking me about the video testimonials because she wants to load them all up to YouTube, of course. And I said, yeah, you're gonna have a busy day, because I've got quite a few live testimonials and some other ones that Reno has done. Reno comes to me practically daily, I think it is, with a brand new video showing a side of Bitcoin Ascension, different aspects of what we represent, what we want to do, and they're fantastic videos. And once he's given them to me to have a look at, and I go, yeah, that's awesome, it's fantastic, because they always are. And then he loads them up into the group page or in ads and things like that. So make sure we pepper those a bit, and I'll get Terry to add those. So she's going to be spending a day, I think, once I give her all the lives, pardon me, to load up to YouTube. So she's going to be a busy lady. Sorry, Terry, not really. She loves doing it. We'll keep telling ourselves that. No, she does love doing it. And then I'll be putting all those live testimonials on a fan page as well. I'll pick a few different ones, and I'll probably put them on my timeline as well, once they're up on YouTube. And so we get the views and things like that. Because best social proof in the world is a video testimonial. You won't get better than that anywhere. So put your names there for the people who, like the Australians who probably haven't seen the post yet. But just say, yeah, done. That's all I need. And and that way it shows all the people that have done it. Now, if there's over 20, obviously I'll pick the best 20, and those people will get early positions in the matrix, and for doing a live. It's just a nice little competition for all the new people that are here. I do run competitions, and Tom runs competitions as well. Quite often. Poor old, well, I shouldn't say old, but poor Elaine has been trying to catch up with the last lot. I think we did about 4 or 5 competitions in 1 week. We're just drilling them off. It was about 200 positions we gave away, and she's nearly caught up with them all. So, and there was a proviso on the last one, sort of things. You introduce someone, you get an early position, and so does the person you introduced, as long as that person you introduced is going to be active with Bitcoin Ascension. So that's why I didn't want them just signing up their kids and things like that. Those missions are great, but of course we want to spread the word of Bitcoin Ascension for what we want to do, so we're known throughout the world that we're here for the charities and things like that, and to fix a lot of the problems. And I'll go into that a little bit of what exactly we're going to be doing for that, in terms of where we'll be directing funds and things like that for the charities, and why. Because, as I said, transparency is everything, and I want you guys to know exactly what's going on. But with the live testimonials, brilliant stuff. Elaine's catching up on the other, because she should be nearly finished. But there was a lot for her to do and sort through. And she works very, very hard, considering she has her own life as well. And she does the support and everything like that. I talked about that last night. So anyone still waiting for, I think, just give her the time. She's only one person, and she does a fantastic job. My life is so much easier because of what she does. So, so what else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I'll talk about a call I had today. A guy named Jackie from, can't remember your last name, sorry. Jackie, I think is it Fraser? Something like that. Anyway, Jackie, he's a good bloke, from New Zealand, and it's good when I can talk to people across the ditch, as we call it over here, because they're not far from where I live, across the ocean there. Our Kiwi cousins, as we call them. He called me up today because he had a couple of questions, and he wanted to clarify on the level 3 strategy, because he saw the video, obviously, of the level 3 strategy. I think it was Juliet who probably sent it to him. Thank you, Juliet. And he was going through it, and he loved it. And he asked me a few questions and regarding the structure and everything like that, and I answered them. And he's going, wow, yeah, I really love it. He said, so it's mandatory, we have to make 10? And I said, no, it's your choice. It's just good advice for you. I like to create win-win situations. So, you don't. He says, oh, so we can do more. I said, oh yeah. I just like people to be able to pay themselves. There's nothing worse than never paying yourself any money when you're in a program. So, I was trying to think of the fairest way of doing it, but it's a great way of doing it. And so he's saying, oh, like level 4, 5, and 6 sort of thing. We can obviously, I said, do what you like, sort of thing. It's just a guideline. That's all it is. I don't make people do it for re-entries or anything like that. I found with programs over the last decade that I've done where they do mandatory repurchases, it seems like a good idea at the time, but for some reason the programs never last when they do it that way. I think it takes away from the person actively doing something when you do it all for them, and they don't actively take part, and that's why it dies off. Because remember, especially with a matrix, guys, it's not an investment of any kind, right? It's a donation base, it's person to person. We're using Bitcoin, it's totally legal, but you need the people to drive it. If the people don't drive it, it doesn't move. If the people drive it, it moves. It's very, very simple. So I was talking to Jackie today, and top bloke, he runs a gym over there, pumping iron and things like that, and big plans for that gym. His mate owns it and he runs it, and he was saying we've got like 300 members at the gym, and they want to make enough money because they looked in what we were doing. They want to be able to make enough money through Bitcoin Ascension, and I gave him some ideas of where we're going, sort of thing, with Bitcoin Ascension. It won't just be a matrix and all that sort of thing. The one matrix, it'll be a lot of things. I couldn't tell him what, but he got the idea. But the matrix will always be prevalent in the whole thing, because it's the first thing we started, and that never ends. And he said what he wants to do with the gym, sort of thing. People usually pay a subscription or a membership or something, monthly or yearly or something like that. I think it's monthly or something, like $30 Kiwi a month. But what he sort of, they want to be able to make enough money, obviously, in this, so they don't have to charge that to the members for his gym. So they can come in and it's just like a pay as you go. So there's no membership fees or because they'll be able to run the costs themselves for that, and then people just come in and pay a couple of bucks to work out at the gym, which is great. The gymnasium is a lot like what we're trying to do, in a sense. You know, they're creating something. In a gym, you're creating a healthy body and mind as well, because people who go to the gym know that, you know, you work out a bit, you tighten the body up a little bit, you lose the weight you maybe want to lose, you know, firm up some of the bits that weren't so firm, and you feel a lot more confident about it. I'm not talking about the, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger type people. I'm talking, well, you know, it's good for them too, but for just the common Joes, like, say me, I went there, I've put on a little weight in the tummy, you know, because I've been at the computer so much, but, you know, going using the rowing machines and things like that, just firming up those areas, and you just feel a lot more confident, you know, and healthier as well, obviously, and a bit stronger, sort of thing. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a healthy environment with Bitcoin Ascension. And he was saying, you know, when he was looking at the money that he could make, like obviously making an extra 10 accounts and what those reaching level 6 would mean, sort of thing, money-wise, you know, Bitcoin-wise, he's saying it's a lot to take in. It's actually a little scary making that sort of money. And that's why a lot of people can't really grasp it, because they can't believe you can make that much money. You can. You really, really can. So I was explaining to him, well, we don't want to just get people into Bitcoin Ascension and then they make a ton of money and then they don't know what to do with it, and it's stressing out their lives and not making their lives easier. So we will be educating people on how to have that money working for them, where they get to spend it, but they get to keep it at the same time. You may not think that's possible, but it actually is. And once you know how, it's fairly easy, but you don't know what you don't know, you know, so you never know to ask those questions or anything like that. So at Bitcoin Ascension, we're going to be educating people. Again, nothing mandatory, it's just going to be advice, but proper financial advice, not from me personally, it'll be from professionals, on how to make that money work for you, and how to be able to spend it at the same time but still make money, and live the lifestyle. Because I was talking to Terry earlier regarding passion and things like that, with what you do. I'll talk about my son. He's very passionate about his photography and his camera work and things like that. And he said, Dad, even, you know, once I've made a lot of money with Bitcoin Ascension, he says, I won't stop what I'm doing. I said, Bitcoin Ascension isn't there for you to make so much money you can sit back on your backside and do nothing for the rest of your life. You know, if you have a passion in something, joining something like Bitcoin Ascension and making some good money just means you can follow that passion without any of the stresses and worries of, oh, that bill's got to be paid and that's got to be done and that's got to be, oh, I can't follow my passion because it's too expensive for like art supplies, camera equipment, or traveling, if that's your passion. You know, we want to be able to take the worry out so you can just follow your passion. We're here to change your lives that way and not make it harder for you, sort of thing. So that's what it's all about. The passion is very, very important. I have a passion with Bitcoin Ascension, but everyone knows I want to have my pet sanctuary. I go on about it all the time, I'm sorry. But it's a passion, and when you have a passion, you can't help but talk about it. But I want to be able to run it and not have to worry about how am I going to get the food for the animals and things like that. You want to get rid of those stresses. Because I've seen so many charities, Ask New Start, Cat Rescue, you know, always doing charity drives sort of thing to raise money so they can feed the cats, you know, and vet fees alone. And the vets they work with are really good. They, you know, don't charge like a wounded bull. funny analogy for a vet, but you know, they're always looking for money. Charities are always looking for money for things like that. So I want to be able to run the pet sanctuary where I don't have to worry about the food. You know, the food's coming in, the vet, you know, so I can focus on the animals, you know, and the education programs I want to bring in, and their safety and their love. You know, I'd rather spend the time holding a nice dog, you know, and giving it a pat so I know it's loved, than worrying about where I'm going to find money to be able to feed the poor thing. You know, you don't want to start something as big as what I want to start with the pet sanctuary and then have to close it down because you can't afford the food. That's what Bitcoin Ascension is all about. So we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. And with what Jackie was saying with his gym and everything, he'd like all 300 members, instead of paying like the subscription 1 month or whatever they do for the gym, to buy a Bitcoin Ascension account. So he wants to bring like 300 people in from the gym. That way, he says, they're getting healthy, and then they're also getting wealthy. So they'll be healthy, wealthy, and wise, because we'll have the education package too. So good all-round win-win there, and a very, very smart move by Jackie. I actually commend him on that, because that's thinking outside the box. You know, he'll obviously make it optional, but if they're going to be paying that money to the gym anyway, he's going to forego it and let them get a Bitcoin Ascension account. That way, you're teaching 300 people who may not know about Bitcoin, because it's not hard to set up a wallet. And, you know, and it's good for him, it's good for them, it's good for the gym, and things like that. I actually love the idea. I think it's a great idea, and I'm just wondering if there's other gyms out there who were thinking about doing something like that. Because as he said, he's not the biggest gym over in New Zealand. You know, some have got thousands in terms of membership. You know, you imagine all them jumping on board and say, just waiving that 1 month fee, you know, and saying, oh, we'll put it into Bitcoin Ascension. You know, you imagine them all doing that. My God, you know. And then you get enough people like that joining, they don't have to promote, because they're all coming in anyway. And then they just do the gym. And while they're doing their gym work and getting on with their lives, you know, they're going to be making money, which is fantastic. So, yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that, that he would do something. It's a very, very generous thing to do for any business, because, you know, anyone who has a business knows it can be a bit difficult to make ends meet sometimes. So, but that's what I call thinking outside the box and really going. So, you know, while I cough up a lung, because I've been talking so fast and so much tonight, yeah, so no, that's fantastic. So, well done, Jackie. Welcome aboard. I think he's getting his position tomorrow or something like that. So, welcome aboard. We welcome you with open arms. We love free-thinking people who care about other people, and that's obviously what Jackie does care about, is other people. So, another one for the family, you know. And it was actually funny, because I was talking to him about freedom of choice and what I want for Bitcoin Ascension, and how it's not about me, it's about the members. So it's not about me, it's about we. And how I wanted Bitcoin Ascension to be famous, not me to be famous, but Bitcoin Ascension to be famous, because we're all Bitcoin Ascension. And he says, and it was funny, because he says, oh, you're like a reincarnation of Mother Teresa. And I thought, well, she was probably better looking than me. I don't think I'm a Mother Teresa type, but the fact that I want to help and heal the world and things like that, I can understand it as an analogy, but when you look at it, everyone here is the same. So, you know, as I said, I'm no better than anyone else. But I think it's fantastic that we can be seen as that sort of thing. You know, Mother Teresa did a hell of a job with what she did, and in the conditions she had to work in. And I'd never be able to get up to that level myself, I don't think. But in my own way, I'll do what I can, you know. So she's someone to aspire to, put it that way. That sort of love, that sort of passion, God, yeah. And she took no nonsense either. So, yeah, she's a great lady, sort of thing. I can't remember if she was actually recommended for sainthood. I can't remember. I think I saw something in the news years ago. Whether she actually was made a saint or not, I don't know, okay? If anyone knows, put it in the comments. I'd actually be interested to know if she was actually made a saint or whether it was just recommended, because she passed on some years ago. Okay, and we were talking about Kenya yesterday, and I was talking to someone from Kenya last night, and you know, and more rain's coming, and it was because the dams overflowed and things like that. Usually they have a runoff and everything, but it overflowed, and that's why there was so much flooding. And I remember something similar happening over here many years ago, not far from where I live, like, you know, outside of Brisbane. And we had 5 rivers that converged, and there was a lot of monsoonal rain up north, came down, flooded the rivers, went straight through one town, relatively undamaged sort of thing, but it went over the plateau and down and wiped out this little town at the bottom. I mean, completely wiped it out. Everyone got washed down. No one knew it was coming. It was like a tsunami, an inland tsunami. It was terrible. It was devastating. And my brother and I actually took a year off work many years ago when that happened, and we went around helping to rebuild that town, just offering our services. You know, we're not builders sort of thing, but we did labouring work and things like that to try and help rebuild that town. But so many people had died. So I understand devastation from that point of view. It was horrible seeing it, and all the lost lives. So my heart does go out to the people in Kenya, but that's why I want to build up the membership of Bitcoin Ascension. I'm looking into something to actually that's not ever been done before, another thing that's not ever been done before, and that's pretty exciting. If I can get that going and fantastic, that's not something big that's coming, but it's another one that could be coming. So I don't know if I can do it yet, but if I can, it's just gonna blow. Well, it's not even I mean, it's mind blowing, but it's just gonna change the whole course of what Bitcoin Ascension's about in terms of the speed at which we can accomplish what we want to accomplish with helping people around the world. Now, I'll go into a little bit about helping people around the world. I do not want to be raising money and giving so much money to these people so they can sit on the chair because they don't need to work, because we're feeding them, we're clothing them and things like that, so they never have to get up and do anything. I don't want to be taking their lives away from them like that. So they just have a simple life, but they never aspire to do anything. The things they could have done, become doctors and teachers and lawyers and things like that. And through struggle does come that inspiration to want to get out of that struggle and be able to do more. What I want to do with Bitcoin Ascension is not that in terms of pamper these people like the little silver spooners, but I want to make sure that, you know, all the little villages and towns and things like that, like, have water. You know, they have medical, they have education and things like that. So the person still has to do something with their lives, but they've got the resources like we have in the cities here and in the first world countries and things like that. You know, we have our schools, we have our hospitals, you know, and we have water and food and things like that. I just want to make sure places like that can function so these people can aspire to do what they want to do. So, you know, it's not like I'm going to be spoon feeding these people, just making sure they have the resources when we do things like that. If you agree, tell me in the comments. But that's what if you look after a person too much, then no one aspires to do anything. And that's not life. Life is about aspiring to do something. But it's a lot better when you aspire to do something and you know you can still eat or drink clean water, or if you get sick, you can see a doctor. Or if you do want to, do whatever you want to do, you want to be able to go to school to be able to learn how to do it and things like that. That's what we want to be creating, sort of thing, a safer environment for people and things like that. But they still have to work to do what they've got to do, to aspire to be what they want to be. Otherwise, we're really taking away their lives. You know, we might as well just make them livestock if we're just going to sit down and just give them all the money in the world so they don't ever have to do anything, don't have to lift a finger. That's killing a person internally, so to speak. As far as I'm concerned, you can't take away that away from people. So, but we all deserve to be safe and be treated right and, you know, educated and things like that. So that's the sort of thing I'll be focusing on. I was talking to an accountant today, and she was saying, like, in different parts of the world, sort of thing, you know, a woman who loses her husband, sort of thing, you know, is basically delegated to basically a home or something like that, because they don't usually have jobs because the husband did and they've lost their husband and everything. So maybe we should build businesses in certain countries where they work at the business, but they work to actually own that little business, just like little things, you know. the things that they're good at, and we find these people, and so if they want the business, they're going to have to work for it, and then they own the business, and then they're a business owner, and they've got like prestige and money to be able to look after children if they have children and things like that. That's just another facet. There's so many facets you would not believe when it comes to healing the world that we don't even know about. And I didn't know anything about this until it was pointed out to me, and I'm thinking that's something to look at as well. And again, it spreads the name of Bitcoin Ascension, which is great for Bitcoin Ascension and for people to know that people do care, and we're just normal folk who actually care. But we're going to have some very smart people, and that's not me, by the way, but we're going to have some smart people who are going to be able to help us make sure that the funds that are raised will go to the right places and the right people, and not into the pockets of bureaucrats and things like that, where the people never see the money. There's red tape and stuff. That's why we're going to be doing things differently. But if this thing I can't that I'm thinking of doing, if I can do it and it can be done, wow, it's going to be very, very exciting for everyone. As I said, it'll accelerate us tenfold if I can get it done. So again, it's sort of teasing, but again, if I said what it was and someone else beat me to it, boy, would we lose out, and I just don't want to do that. But I do want you guys to know that I'm always thinking, and I'm always trying to develop, and I'm always trying to find ways to make things better and easier for not just me, but for you and for the rest of the world. And that's what I spend a lot of my time doing. Research and development, basically. Man, which is better than what I was doing when I first started, when I didn't have any admin and support. I was messaging. I didn't have time to do anything else. That's why my admin is so fantastic. All the admin is so fantastic. They leave me so much more time to do this research and development, which is actually going to help Bitcoin Ascension. Amazingly, and I'm not a hypey person, but I'm really excited. If half these things I can do, I get done. It's going to be great for all of us. As I said, you're all founding members, basically. You're right here at the beginning, and spreading the word. We've had some fantastic people join us in the last few days, and they've only just made an account, and they're already getting stuck in. They're already spreading the word. They're already bringing people in, word of mouth and stuff like that. So if you've been with us from the beginning, and especially if you've obviously cycled a few levels and things like that, and you're doing nothing, you're really just hurting yourself more than anything else, without being harsh, it's, if you're doing nothing, you should be ashamed. I know there's reasons medical reasons and things like that you can't always be online and things like that. That's fine. But if you're sitting there and doing nothing and thinking, I can just sit here and coast through, you should be ashamed of yourself, to be honest, because we're not doing this just about money. We're doing this to heal the world. So every person who procrastinates or thinks that they're better than everyone else and doesn't need to do that, all you're doing is actually continuing the suffering of people around the world. If you think I'm trying to shame you, you're absolutely right. It's because we're all adults here, and it's about time we stood up and got counted. Okay? The world doesn't owe us a living. We owe the world everything. And by working together, we don't have to work hard at all. So there's my little shame for the day. I know you don't have to recruit. I've never said you've had to recruit, ever. But in terms of the juicing and things like that, and advertising, for the people who are advertising, and there's quite a few of them all over the place, and if you can't even do that, get into the co-op, and then you're doing something, but if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I don't have to do anything, you're only fooling yourself, and that's just truth, because what you do here and how you get involved here affects the rest of your life, okay? Because if you get into the habit of not doing anything, then you're not living, you're just existing, and it does affect your normal life as well. So this is probably one of the best places to educate yourself on how you can improve your life without having to do a hell of a lot, just joining in. And it'll help you in the outside world as well, not just the online world, but the outside world, which is important. You have to be involved, otherwise you're not really living. It's a waste of life. And I don't want to see any member here, or anyone else around the world for that matter, wasting their lives thinking they've always got time and they'll get around to it and things like that, because you really are just fooling yourselves. And that's just truth. It's not even an opinion, it's just fact. You know, you have to improve your lives, sort of thing, to be happy, you know. And it doesn't take a lot of work working with us. And you'll find that, you know, you can work with us like that. You can work with everything you do in your normal outside world becomes better, because you're taking part. You've got something to be proud of. So you'll have that internal fire growing, and you'll find it's like going to the gym and making yourself healthier and stronger and firmer, and your clothes are fitting better. You have that confidence about yourself when you step out into the world. You know, that self-assurance. Working with us here, because of what we're doing, is much the same thing. There's a huge satisfaction in knowing that I've done my part, and you know, and we're going to really improve the world, and help ourselves as well, and our families, and the people around us, immediately around us. As I said, the ripple effect, and the new people coming in, and there's been quite a few. They've just got stuck straight in, and they really believe. And we've had people with us for a while, and every day I see them. Every day they do their little bit of part, or big, or a lot. You know, some of them do like go full on, but some do as much as they can. But they're all doing something, and they're not making up excuses for it. And I'm sure any of them who do that on a regular basis can comment here and just say how much better it is they feel, because they've actually taken part instead of making excuses or blaming something else. You know, they've taken responsibility for their own success, and that's really, really important. Always take responsibility for what you do. Never pass the buck. Simple as that. So that's that. The co-op's still going, guys. So if you haven't put in for the co-op, please do, because we buy more and more clicks. I'll get an update from. I'm seeing Tom tomorrow. We're going to take a trip into town, and I'll ask him how the clicks are doing. He can give us an update post on how the clicks are going. I know we've had over 2,000 been released to us so far, and we've got so far, because Tom put in some of his own money, about 5,500 clicks we've bought so far. We do want to get to about 10,000 clicks. So if you haven't put in for the co-op yet, or if you know people who are usually fairly quiet and you've brought in and saying, hey, I know you're not doing anything, and that's cool that you don't want to do that, but you want to put in for the co-op, and that way you're helping. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but the more people that do, obviously, the more we can do. And as I said, it's converting quite well. I've brought in a lot of people that have said, you know, I've received an email or from the funnel, and they're buying accounts, and they're getting stuck in. And it's really, really good to see that people want to do something that's bigger than just themselves, but they know with working with all of us, we can actually accomplish that. So let's start increasing the speed, the advertising. I want to saturate the market more on Facebook and everything like that. I want to see more ads, more commenting, and juicing and liking and sharing. I want to see much, much more of that. For the simple fact is, people have to know we're here. You know, as I said, you can have the best burger in town in your little hamburger shop, the best burger in the world, but if no one knows about it, it's not the best burger, is it? Even though it is. People have to know you're there, and so we have to make ourselves known. And what we're doing is a great, great thing for the rest of the world. And it's not that we want to shove it in people's faces that, look at us, we're saving the world. We're simply stating the fact that we're here to try and save the world, and we'll do our part, and you know, and we're going to make money at the same time. It's pretty simple. Someone put a really good description in a comment. Again, names, forget it. But someone was asking what the group was about, and he put in a nice big paragraph about what the group was about and what Bitcoin Ascension was. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I'll have to find that. I'll have to find that comment. That was a good comment. And people should have a read of that. And it was a good description, basically, for a new person, and I liked it. It was really, really good. So, as I said, people ask questions in here. I've got, you know, hundreds of people basically wanting to help these people. But remember, we've got like 3,000 members here. You know, it shouldn't be hard to get hundreds of comments, thousands of likes or views on YouTube. So you need to wake up to yourselves if you really want to succeed, right? And don't just sit back and just say, well, I knew the program wouldn't last, that's why I did nothing. Well, that's not how it works. You know, it's usually because you've done nothing that the program, whatever program you're in, fails. You know, and it's not just you personally, but it's because there's a lot of people like that out there. And they've got to really change their thinking if they really actually want to succeed. We're here to give you something stable. So if you want to succeed, really succeed, get involved. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Get involved. There's a dozen ways to get involved without having to talk to anyone in your whole life to get them in, that you can help to make Bitcoin Ascension grow its membership sort of thing, so we can stop the suffering. And of course, you know, the matrix works faster too. But I really want to save the world. The matrix will take care of itself as we grow our membership anyway. So I focus on the saving the world part, and the matrix takes care of itself with people joining. So if you focus on it that way, it's more fulfilling, I think, and less you know, self-involved or self-absorbed with just making money. I know there's people out there who just want to make money, and that's fine, but I really want to focus on how we want to heal the world and things like that. And there's a lot of projects we want to take on, and they're really great projects, and we want different charities joining us and everything like that, so they can benefit from that as well, and they won't know themselves. So when you look at the money that you can make, all it takes is just a little, you know, a few minutes a day from every single one of you, and we blitz this thing like you wouldn't believe. There's a lot of difference between 50 ads on Facebook or 50 comments on Facebook and 3,000. That's just insane, and we should be doing that by now. And the only people that are stopping you from doing it is yourself. You're the only person stopping you. No one else is stopping you. So there you go. There's my preach again for the day. I'll wrap it up here. I've got some more meetings tomorrow, and I'll be talking with Tom tomorrow regarding the funnels and everything like that. And there'll be another competition coming up after this one, so probably next week a new competition where all the people that have been rather dormant can you know, step up. There's a member who wants to give away a few very early accounts, and so if people want to win those accounts, especially those ones, you're going to have to work for them. Simple as that. I'm not just going to give them away for nothing. You're really going to have to work for them. Because we have the membership, and let's start showing, you know, the world that we have the membership of people who care, who really want to make a difference. Show them how strong we are. We should be proud. That's what you should be, waving banners, waving the flag, Bitcoin Ascension flag, of how proud you are to be in something that's here for a good reason and here for a long time and is totally transparent. So, all right, guys, I'll wrap it up. I love you all very, very much. And I will be on again tomorrow, and I'll be reviewing all those testimonials we're getting to. You still got time. You still got a couple of days to do the testimonials. So if you want to do a video testimonial, you can send them to me either in Messenger or contact me in Messenger if it's too big, and I'll give you my email address and you can send it to me. And I can look at it that way. Or you can load it up to YouTube yourself, your own YouTube, and then send me the link for YouTube. So I can have a look at it, and then we'll put it all into the Bitcoin Ascension video YouTube account on the playlists and everything like that. So and we'll spread those around everywhere, because the ones I've seen so far have been fantastic, and all by shy people. A lot of them by shy people who aren't used to doing video testimonials. So kudos to you. That's a real brave thing to do. All right, I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye bye.